Hello, and welcome to another Electric Brain Games video. Today I wanted to talk about my experience from making a tiny game, Jellie Blocs. My first release, and why I'd recommend every budding game dev makes a tiny game. I've been a hobbyist game dev for the best part of a decade now, and back when I started I fell right into the trap of trying to develop a big first game. It's very easy to do. Everyone wants to make their dream game, and even if you think you're setting the bar low, you really do not know what is feasible when you're first starting out. Since then, I've worked on a couple of other projects, and my first major release is set for later this year, Rampallians, a card game that, although much smaller in scope than my initial first game, still has taken 4 years and counting. As part of my plan for leading up to the release of Rampallians, I decided to work on a tiny game, Jellie Blocs. Jellie Blocs is sort of like an inverted Tetris where you're trying to find and remove the shapes before the screen fills up. It only took 1 month to get from concept to the App Store, and I learnt a lot along the way. It meant I quickly went from the initial development of the app, through playtesting, right into the polish stage, as the project was only around 3,000 lines of code. Preparing a project for release is something that I had not had much exposure to from my other projects, but it's invaluable in getting realistic estimates for the release of Rampallians and any other future projects and game jams. As well as the polish, this also included spending time setting up Electric Brain Games in Google Play and the Apple App Store, something that had been completely alien to me up till that point, and actually proved relatively straightforward. It also meant I got comfortable with the process of deploying via those stores, so I can now use them to deliver test apps for my other games rather than delivering build files to users, which is much more intuitive to people. They are used to getting apps from the App Store and Steam. They are not used to having to download apps from Google Drive that I've delivered to them, which reduces the effort on their side and means that I get better and quicker feedback. And so this is why I recommend to everyone who has not yet released their first game but has worked on one or two that they haven't got over the finish line, works on a tiny game. There are plenty of things that we are exposed to through the cycle of game dev: coding, artwork, sound design, level and game design. But the things that we are not exposed to are also important: marketing, legal setup, deployment pipelines through the Steam app or Google, etc. And getting an understanding of those things can make the process feel less daunting. Jellie Blocs has been downloaded over 3,000 times, which I'm very pleased with. Although it hasn't made any money, the knowledge and understanding of the process of getting a game from start to finish is really hard to put a price on. Which is why I recommend anyone wanting to release their dream game should release a very simple game first, so that you have the knowledge of the full process, and because it's probably a lot easier than you think. Thanks very much for listening, and subscribe if you would like to hear more about my other projects.